Hi, everyone. This is Caroline, and it's great to be here with you. I just thought I'd have a quick comment on today's message to light workers, because the point of it was that I was talking to the collective about what is going on the planet right now, which I find to be kind of astounding, considering how awful it is in so many places, the war and the famine and the extreme weather and economic injustices, and you name it, so much is happening, so much madness, and it's all bubbling to the surface, which is very disconcerting, because at least in the past we had this facade of things being in control and okay, and increasingly it's obvious nobody's in control. Things are not okay in the sense of what we're taught, what we're told as we're growing up, to trust government, trust religion, trust education, trust medicine, on and on and on. Everything's fine. There are authorities who know what they're doing. There are officials in charge. Obviously, this is a planet in chaos. And so my question to the collective, again, was, why so much chaos? Why are we watching the attempted annihilation of the Palestinian people? Why all this still extreme weather when we've got galactic friends perfectly capable of stopping that? Why all of this economic madness when it's obvious that it's based on nothing? Our economies are just ephemeral bits of dust. And why all the famine in these different countries where millions are going to be affected increasingly? And what happened is that Mother Sekhmet came in, and she's known as this wonderful ancient Egyptian deity, a goddess, wonderful, but she is much more than that, and still very, very active as part of the creative force of this universe, and very, very active on this planet. And so I said to her, I've been feeling very strongly, humanity doesn't really gain anything anymore from all this suffering. Is that the only way our souls can grow and expand? This is out of control. And why are we still mired in all this madness when Earth is in the fifth dimension? And so I've got what I channeled here. I'm just going to refer to it because her answer is just amazing. And she says that what I refer to are the last parts of third dimensional Earth life. And this is, as some would say, she says, very bad medicine. It's the hardest way to learn, through suffering, loss, rage, shock, violence, physical pain, etc. And but she points out the human response to these things, as we're seeing all this, whether it's on the internet or TV or in our communities, our response, our reaction has to shift. We've got to come out of this feeling that there are winners and losers, this duality, that there are attackers and victims, because that doesn't help anybody. Even getting justifiably, understandably enraged at what we see as huge injustices, it doesn't help. It absolutely doesn't help. And she says, don't decide when you see people suffering that they're in dire straits, that their souls are no longer powerful. And she points out that all of them in the higher realms, all of them who are not in human bodies right now, but in their usual form, she says, we don't view only what the human vessel is experiencing. You're in a body. So to you, that's the main aspect of what you and many others are experiencing. And that Earth selves are sort of kind of trapped in a small space. You've got a small outlook, a narrow concept of what's really happening, or no concept. She says, all of us would say, remember. Remember, you didn't come in only to experience joy, but to plant into the earth ways that Earth life and whole populations might permanently move out of suffering. So we're looking for a bridge, and lo and behold, we are the bridge. And he says, yeah, it does mean that in some cases there will indeed be suffering in many people's lives, even in whole populations, regardless of what the other circumstances affecting that are. Even though Earth is now moved into 5D, she's saying, the story is still being written. And for great evil to finally leave for good, it has to be exposed. And some people have volunteered to come forth and to allow themselves to be apparently victimized by that, to experience the annihilation of their culture, their person, their wellness, even their sanity, so as to remove the rocks under which these dark ones lie. Those who steal and kill for pleasure and for profit and a sense of power. and that religion and politics are only tools to be used. They're not the main source. They're not the crux of the matter. They're tools only. And she points out there are intergalactic forces at work here. There have been for many thousands of years. And they came in at one point with their fleets of ships, their motherships, and they came in to steal from the earth and to enslave humanity, and they've done that. And this is a very old story. The manipulation of human consciousness into slavery and dark forms of unconsciousness, and the using of human life as energy to fuel their etheric, their energetic machinery, which people call the matrix, and to suit the machinations of the dark lords in the underworld. And yes, those are real, they do exist. She says, you and millions of others didn't come in at this time to only view the fifth dimension coming into Earth life and to celebrate that, even though that's wonderful. You came in to cleanse, you came in to clean up, to usher those who manipulate and destroy out of your planet, out of your galaxy, and to call upon universal justice. And, you know, she has wonderful ways of pointing this out. She says, don't miss the important moment. Joy is important, but don't miss the important thing. When you require that all move into joy before their self-chosen assignment for this earth life is completed, you're asking something that goes against what they themselves have designed in their earth life chart. And yes, we do see the suffering. And she's saying to me, you would presume to say they ought to be well and healthy, never troubled by homelessness or invasion or the madness of war. And that's a stance born from the desire that none shall suffer any longer. But given the history of your planet, she's saying this would be nearly impossible until the causes of those wars and invasions and starvations were removed. And this is what millions have come in for at this time, even though they don't really bear conscious memory of such for the most part. And so she's pointing something out. She's pointing out that, say, you know, okay, you and I can weep for those that we see suffering. And she's saying, yet we ask, have they wept for your suffering? If they did, you'd say to them, oh, please don't feel troubled. I've come in for this. These issues have troubled me for many earth lives, and I've come in this time to re-experience it and to finally release it and dissolve it for good and push it out of my energy. And as I'm doing that, I'm helping all of earth life to release these causes and their results. And everybody, there's nobody listening to this right now who's not involved in that. Everybody is involved in that, absolutely. And she says, were they to see the power of your and your fellow light bearer souls, they would bow with respect and cheer you on no matter the steepness of the climb. Absolutely beautiful. And they wouldn't think to say, can't you choose a simpler route? Do you have to suffer to get your work done, you know, here on this earth? And she says, that's similar to saying to the law enforcement officer, can't you just go after the crooks? Do you have to go after the crooks? Do you have to do that? Can't you just wait till they give themselves up? Or saying to the person who is a healer, can't you just encourage the infection to leave this person's body? Or won't it do that naturally now that we're in 5D? Do you have to attack it with medicine? If we said that, they would laugh and say, well, you don't know my work. And they would be correct. And, you know, all of us have ushered dark energies, dark beings out of our homes, our bodies, other people. All of us had our moments of opening the door and shooing out of that door some presence, some energy that shouldn't be there. Or maybe we just, with our own energies and our own vibration, raised the vibration of the place we were in. And she's saying, rather than refer to these ones who suffer as those who suffer, thank them for assisting in clearing and cleansing, because they're establishing a whole new order of living. The dark side, they're aware their time is ended. They see all the signs. This is another reason why they're acting out so viciously and intending to bring down everybody's vibrations as much as possible. Because if everything continues to rise as it has been, the reign of shadow is shortened all the faster. So she's saying, yeah, okay, you see the suffering, but you don't see the powerful light arising as so many send their love and compassion and their demands at this end now, sending their demands to the governments and to any, you know, weapons suppliers of all kinds and demands of the universe in general. And she's saying, don't despair as you see those who suffer. Hold them in the light of your own soul. Remind them in that heart space of the power of their own souls. and thank them for their beautiful work, that even as Earth is being rebirthed and even as she is ascending, they were willing to come forth and release all physical safety to rout out the dark ones in their last days, to help to expose them to where there are enough factors, there are enough people, there are enough self-proclaimed authorities, maybe the ICC, I don't know, but maybe, all of us as authorities, as sovereign beings of our own lives, saying, no more of this. This is ending. We're not, never mind. We know you love war for profit. We know you love the bloodlust. Forget it. We don't live that way anymore on this planet. And it takes all of us feeling that and saying it, not sitting down and crying and saying all is lost. And there are going to be moments when we sit down and cry. I remember in my 30s, at one point I was in therapy for things that happened to me as a child. And when I saw a child being mistreated in public, yes, you can intervene occasionally, but it doesn't always work out too hot. And I would just say to that child inwardly, I would just say, your soul will guide you. And I would image light coming down and filling that youngster. And, if that's what we have to do, friends, then let's do it. That is a huge part of what we're here for. That's part of the work we're doing. That's part of the light we're planting into the earth. And Mother Sekhmet says, your day dawns, young ones. Note the increasing light on the horizon. You have all seen such. And be thankful to those who've had the courage to come and release not only their own karma, but that of many millions. They've come not to be saviors nor victims, but avatars for the cleansing light of renewal. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know anybody who could have said it any clearer. So thank you to Mother Sekhmet. Thank you to all of you for everything you're doing. I hope that you'll comment in this video. Of course, you can like and subscribe and all that stuff, but comment and just share with us how you've been handling this, as you see these images on the news. And I watch democracynow.org. It's very powerful. They don't censor. They don't, at least not much. And they don't spare us. They tell the truth. And I don't watch it every day because it's very intense. But just let me know how you've been handling this and if you can accept what Mother is saying. And if you can accept the power of your own soul and the power of the souls of those who are going through so much right now and say, yes, 5D is here. At the moment, this is what it looks like. So sending much love and many blessings. Namaste.